Emotional abuse doesn't always come on like a storm. It sometimes seeps in like a fog, slowly creeping in and making it hard to tell where truth ends and deception begins. It doesn't leave marks that you can see. It hurts your spirit in ways you can't see. And the actual damage, the point of no return, isn't inflicted by just one big incident. It's a sequence of planned, silent, and terrible events that break down your soul. Today, we're not just pointing out red flags. We're talking about the 8 times that can really get to someone. First, the time you stand up for their wickedness. This is the first break, and it may be the most important one. It doesn't happen in a huge, clear way. It's not obvious. They might have said something very hurtful about your goal in front of your friends and you laughed it off saying, "Oh, that's just their dark sense of humor." Or maybe they didn't talk to you for a whole day since you were 5 minutes late. You had to tell your worried sister, "No, they're just really stressed out from work. It's not a huge deal." This isn't merely a way to get out of it. It's the time when you start to take on their problems for them. You start to connect their poor behavior to a reason that makes sense to you. You become their public relations manager and translator of cruelty. You're not only keeping kids safe from what other people think, you are insulating yourself from the scary fact that the person you love is harming you on purpose. You delete a small part of your own reality and replace it with theirs every time you do this. This is when your own voice starts to fade away and theirs gets louder in your head. The first time you get the quiet treatment, it makes you panic. Silence is a strange weapon. In a good relationship, being quiet is okay. It's quiet. But for someone who is emotionally abusive, silence is a very powerful and controlling tool. You could be confused the first time they use it. When you try to chat to them, they don't answer. They gaze right through you like you're not there. It's not the stillness that makes things break. It's the time when the quiet makes you feel a profound basic fear. You beg, plead, and apologize for them to just talk to you. Even if you didn't do anything wrong, you start to go over every recent conversation in your head, looking for the mistake in every word you spoke. At that point, they have taught you that their quiet is a punishment, and their attention is a reward. You realize that your emotional stability now depends on whether or not they would acknowledge you. You learn to be afraid of the stillness because the air in your own home is full of unspoken threats. You can't have peace of mind anymore. They can take it away at any time. 3. When someone uses your most private fears against you, it breaks a vital trust. You once shared something really personal with someone you were close to. Such a childhood dread, an uneasiness about how you look or a failure from the past that still hurts. You gave them a piece of your weak inner self because you thought it was safe with them. Then weeks or months later, when they are arguing, they bring it out like a knife. They use that weakness against you to win the debate, make you feel tiny and ashamed, and put you down. If you told them you were afraid of being left alone, they could respond, "No wonder your last partner left you." If you weren't sure how smart you were, they might laugh at you. "You don't have the brains to get this anyway." This is more than just a cheap shot. It's a betrayal. It sends a scary message. Nothing you share is safe. I can use your worst fears against you. I can use your soul as a weapon against you. This moment could make it hard for you to trust not only them, but anyone. It makes you put up walls around your heart because you think that being open is a weakness that should be hidden, not a strength that should be shared. 4. When you really start to doubt your own memories. Gaslighting is meant to do this. It's a sluggish, sneaky process. It starts with little things. "I never said that." "You are not remembering it right." "You're excessively sensitive." At first you argue back, sure of your own thinking, but they are so sure, so dismissive, and so sure of their version of reality. The moment of breaking is when you finally give in. It's when you're alone and going over an event in your thoughts that you think, "Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. I might be too sensitive." It's when you look in the mirror and don't believe the person you see. This is mental degeneration. They are intentionally breaking down the base of your rationality, which is how you see the world. Once they make you question your memories and thoughts, they can radically change the story. Your feelings are no longer meaningful since you see things wrong. You can't complain anymore because you're simply being dramatic. This is when you should cease trusting your gut. You get lost in a fog they made, and the only light you can see is the one they are holding. 5. When you discover you're alone. Emotional abusers act like predators, and one of their main strategies is to keep their target away from the hood. They do this really slowly so you hardly notice. They can say that your best friend is a terrible influence on you. They might cause trouble every time you plan to see your relatives, making it simpler not to go. They'll say things like, "They don't really love you like I do," or "They're trying to turn you against me." There isn't just one event that breaks things. It's a silent, awful discovery. You had a bad day and pick up your phone to call someone, but you don't. You remember that you haven't talked to that friend in a long time. You know your family will ask you things you don't want to talk about. You have been taught to think that the people who support you are your enemies. At that moment, you experience a deep and scary loneliness. You live on an island with only your abuser as a neighbor. They have shut off all of your connections, making you utterly dependent on them for everything, including socializing and getting validation. Your world, which used to be big and full of people who cared about you, is now just a cage. Sixth, the moment you feel better when they stop showering you with affection. The cycle of abuse is a strong trap. Not everything is horrible all the time. There are times of peace and even strong love, which is sometimes called love bombing, or the honeymoon phase. This happens shortly after a bad argument or a time of being unkind. They suddenly turn into the person you fell in love with. They give you things, say they're sorry, and pledge to change. The battle itself isn't the real breaking point. When the love bombing starts, you experience a surge of frantic relief. Like a hungry person wants food, you want their apology and love. You hold on to that good version of them because it shows that the person you love is still in there someplace. You believe this is who they really are. The rage was the only thing that wasn't true. Hope turns into a chain. This cycle is what keeps you stuck. You put up with the terrible times because the good times are so short and sweet that they make you feel better. You don't have a relationship with anyone. You are in a relationship with a pattern. The lock clicking is the moment of relief that keeps you in the cycle until the next explosion hits. 7. The first time they make you look bad in front of others. For a lot of victims, the abuse is a secret, something terrible that happens while no one is looking. You put in a lot of effort to make it look like everything is good on the surface. You keep this secret because you feel ashamed, and because a part of you still wants to protect the abuser. The moment of truth is when they knock down that fake wall in front of everyone. At a dinner party, someone might make a joke at your expense that isn't actually a joke. They might yell at you in the middle of a supermarket store. They might disagree with you and make fun of your professional views in front of your coworkers. At that moment, the internal guilt turns into public disgrace. Not only are you hurting, but other people can see how much pain you're in. People generally don't step in, though. They glance aside, feeling awkward. This public exhibit does two tasks. It strengthens their control over you by proving that they can hurt you whenever and wherever they want. And the silence of the witnesses makes you feel absolutely alone in your pain, which makes you feel even more alone. The secret is out, yet instead of being free, you feel more bound than ever. 8. When you stop feeling anything at all. This might be the saddest breaking point of them all. It's the moment when you finally stop feeling anything after all the battling, sobbing, reasoning, panicking, and hoping there's nothing left. You don't flinch when they say something harsh. They don't talk to you and you don't feel scared anymore. They want to fight, but you don't have the energy to do anything about it. You didn't win. You have given up. This isn't peace. It's nothingness. It's the last step of emotional disintegration when your spirit just shuts down in a frantic attempt to protect itself. The ups and downs of your emotions have made it so you can't feel anything anymore. You could still be able to do things like go to work, perform chores, and smile when you need to, but within you are empty. This lack of interest is breaking the spirit. It's the time when the abuse has reached its final goal. It has put out your light. You have stopped battling for your happiness, your reality, and even yourself. You are still there, yet you are also not there. The abuser doesn't have to dominate you anymore since you've learned how to regulate yourself, feel nothing, and expect nothing. It's the most terrible kind of break, yet it's also the quietest. If any of these instances seemed familiar or reminded you of something in your own life, please know that your feelings are real. What you went through or are going through is real, and it's not your fault. The first and most important step toward getting your own reality back is to recognize these situations. It's the start of getting your voice back. If this video taught you something new, or just made you feel seen, please like it and subscribe to our channel for more information that helps you deal with the difficulties of life. And for everyone who is watching, I have a question for you. Please tell us about it in the comments below. What would you tell someone who is just starting to notice these trends in their own life? Your message could give someone else in our community who feels lost in the fog a lot of hope. Let's help each other. Thanks for watching.